So the winner of this plays Zanster, and then we move on to the loser of the winner bracket.
Yeah. So it'll be Kane versus whoever comes out there, and then
Oh,
Snoop's waiting in the grand finals.
nice.
Very nice. Okay. So we're in game number 3, guys, and in the bottom right hand corner, or in that complexity tag, is QXC. And then top left from Team Root, it's Iaguz.
And in the last game, it was actually quite interesting. I think Iaguz in game one was really surprised by the fact that he was able to take it out and make a game of it. But in game two, he sort of sat there and he's like, okay, I'm going to sit on 2 base, and I think that my macro is going to beat him. And if he goes for a 3rd command center, I'm just going to be able to win an engagement, win my straight up fight, and basically crush his army. And that's exactly what he did. He was saying something similar in a Skype chat that we share. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to play out, that dynamic between these players that's already been established so far this series. They're going into game 3. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so do you think Iaguz has a good chance of taking it? Or do you think QXC looks alright in the series? Because the first game did go quite heavily in QXC's favor, I feel.
I think that they're actually really evenly poised, and I think that their play styles are actually quite similar. They're both fairly orthodox, but they do know how to play a non-standard game. So if a game is going in a way that they don't like or that they're not practiced, they're not terrible.
Yeah.
I think that we are probably going to be seeing some pretty orthodox builds on this map. I mean, Iaguz has actually gone for a gas first himself. So whether that's going to be for a Banshee, whether he wants to go for a Mine Drop against the Banshees of QXC, which we've seen him do before on this map as well, or if he just wants to go for something like a Raven Expand, he's got a lot of options, but the gas first is such a solid, safe build, and as long as you scout with it, there's really nothing that just flat out kills this build.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. There's a factory now for Iaguz. And I think this is the first time we've seen him guess first. He hasn't in the last 2 games, if I recall correctly.
No, he's been favouring the barracks first into like either a 13 gas or even a 15 gas with an earlier expand that I've been seeing him do. But mixing it up and being unpredictable makes you unexploitable, which is a really strong trait of these tournament players.
Yeah, and I know these guys have played against each other at least once before, but I'm not sure how often they actually meet up. So it's kind of maybe a little bit harder to get a feel for your opponent if you don't play against them that often, get a sort of edge, because you know, oh, okay, this guy tends to always go gas first or likes to CC first, that kind of thing. So you're right, it does make it a little bit harder to exploit them if you're changing it up every now and then.
And we've got the Reaper coming in here from QXC. He's just going to be able to poke up. He sees 2 Marines. And having only 2 Marines at that timing, he can pretty much expect that it's going to be a gas first. I mean, he saw the factory, so he knows what's going on. He's going for a Reaper expand as well, so he's got that command center. It's halfway done. The interesting thing about the dynamic between these 2 builds is that there's actually a really strong build. I think Iaguz may even go for it. It's a Mine Drop into a 1-1-1 push.
Ah, yes.
And if he adds the 2nd gas, I think that's exactly... Well, that was really nice, getting the Reaper there, denies the scout. But he gives away the fact that he's got a mine. So I think that this is going to give QXC enough time to maybe build an engineering bay, get that turret out for the right time. Getting a turret against the Mine Drop is actually a little bit faster than when you get it versus a Banshee, because the mine comes in about 30 seconds faster than when a Banshee would fly across the map. But Iaguz isn't actually going to all in with a tank push after this. He's going to expand himself. So if he doesn't get any damage done here, he's going to be a little bit behind. But if he can equalize it here, do some damage, he might even be able to put himself ahead. But he does have the tech advantage.
Yeah, so even if he doesn't do a huge amount of damage here, it's a little rough. You always want your strat to work, but he's not going to be out of the game by any means. It's just not exactly where he wants to be. At the same time, a single Hellion is moving out for QXC just to keep tabs on what Iaguz is doing, see if he can see anything maybe at the front there. He can certainly poke up the ramp and double check, because he knows that all the production's kind of at the front anyway. And let's see if he can get the burrow down on this Widow Mine. There's a turret going up for QXC. Can cancel it though.
QXC's actually saved for a mule, which is so nice. He didn't build a turret in his main mineral line. He's just saved a mule just in case Iaguz went and dropped that mine there. So this is a little bit annoying, but he can just build up units. He doesn't have to worry too much. When another like Hellion or something comes out, he's just going to be able to fight this off. So he's not in any danger there.
Yeah, so not much getting done there. Cancels turret, that's about it. And he does get on out of there. A little bit similar to what happened the last game, but thankfully he wasn't stopping CCs from building 2 or 3 times. So QXC in a much better position this time round.
Although, Iaguz has actually started a 3rd CC and he's getting his own tank. So he basically says here, I've got the gas lead. And I've got map control as well. You know, I've got that medivac. It's going to be a long time before QXC actually has anything to be able to move out on the map. So instead of just throwing units away, instead of throwing his medivac away, he's going to hold on to that, use that later, and use that to be able to secure a much faster 3rd base. So he's going to be at a small deficit for a little while he builds that economy up. But if he can survive with that 3rd orbital, get his production up, he will have a much stronger mid-game.
Yeah, okay, here comes another drop. QXC sees it in time, pulls his SCVs. Might only get like 1 detonation, if that, from the gas SCV. Not even.
Just all this lost mining time is the real damage. He doesn't even need to kill SCVs. He's actually done all the damage he needs to right here.
Why to bother? It's a little annoying though, because he's kind of stuck here now.
Oh, he doesn't want to lose the medivac. Oh, no. Oh, he got a nice hit off with that mine. If he can finish that tank, that's actually going to be huge.
There we go. He gets it. He's going to get the Viking here as well. By the looks of it, yes, maybe no. Oh.
Just saves it.
A nice save there from QXC. He's had pretty good time with air superiority so far, so in comes the second Viking. Iaguz might have a tricky time.
First time in the game, Iaguz takes the SCV lead.
Really? He does have the 3rd CC, doesn't he? Okay, yeah, there we go. It's right in front of me. I'm apparently blind. Yeah, so
it's still there in the middle line. It's actually.
Okay, he knows. I got worried there for a second. I was like, wait, he knows about that, right? Look at that.
Oh, that's
Totally lined it up.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But Iaguz is actually going to be able to go around. Really nice by QXC actually to kill those rocks so that he's not purely abusable with this tank line. It is going to be quite difficult though. He doesn't have stim, he doesn't really have any medivacs, and his tank died earlier. If he had that extra tank, if he has 2 tanks in a defensive position, he definitely holds this. But the Vikings in the air are going to be just enough to deny vision. I don't think Iaguz is going to want to stay around here for too much.
No. The saving grace right there.
But Iaguz's land is his 3rd, so he's really going to be able to power ahead pretty soon.
Yeah, he's looking really good in this game. Certainly taking the reins this time round, and QXC more or less kind of forced to just sit in his base and react to what Iaguz is doing. It looks like he's finally moving out with a few units. Still has air superiority. Iaguz only has the 1 Viking, so that's the advantage that QXC is going to have here. Otherwise, similar amounts of units. Iaguz 1 tank ahead in production. He's actually heading down here a little bit. It's like 2 ships passing the night at the moment. He's going to be displeased when he sees that siege tank.
Yeah, Iaguz is actually going to be hard-pressed to deal with that because he let QXC get into that position. So I think that this is, you know, it is a mistake. It's not too bad because he is going to have stim finishing up in about 20 seconds. He's able to do his own counter pressure as well.
Yeah, not only that, but he has a 3rd base, so he can at the very least mine from there in the meantime, whereas QXC wouldn't have that luxury here. And he does take out the defensive tank. There will be another one popping out.
He's just going to die here. There's actually nothing that he can do. He doesn't have enough production back at home. He doesn't have stim. If that tank is going down, I think Iaguz is just going to clinch this win. He's got his 3rd. Like, how can QXC possibly defend this?
Yeah, I mean, the SUVs do an okay job at killing the siege tanks, but at the end of the day, they will be the victors, taking down a huge amount of SUVs, 30 kills this game. And at the same time, QXC marches into the natural of Iaguz.
Stim is done. Iaguz can basically stim into this and kill it whenever he wants. He does have enough units. He's not going to lose that command center at all.
He's in such a good position. QXC can't move up any further. Yeah, he's stuck. I mean, QXC is going to rally whatever else he has left, but that's about it. you can't really push in any further against this sort of a setup from Iaguz. He just has enough to kind of stim and go if he wants, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
QXC thinks he's in such a much better position, but yeah, GG. I think he knows after seeing all of those units that Iaguz must have had a third. I just checked QXC's vision before that engagement, and he had no idea that Iaguz had a third CC. He had no vision of that section of the map that whole time. So yeah,
so
Iaguz
rough.
came crashing down the ramp and took the win.